Hey there YouTube, James here for Tech Radar, and I'm in sunny Barcelona where Huawei has just launched its brand new flagship device, the Huawei P10. So the bad news is Huawei is not bringing the P10 or the P10 Plus to the US. But if you live in a different market, be sure to check Huawei's website. We know it's coming to the UK, but it's also coming to a number of other countries as well. So here we have the brand new Huawei P10. That is a 5.1-inch Full HD display on the front of the phone. It's not QHD, that's a bit of a disappointment, but if you want one of those, you can go for the Huawei P10 Plus, which has a 5.5-inch QHD display. So on the back of the phone, there's no longer a fingerprint sensor. Instead, it is moved to the front just below the screen. There we go. It looks a little bit more like an iPhone this time because of that, but there's some useful features in here, such as swiping right to see your recently used apps and holding down the button to head home. That's really smart. Your unlock key is on the side there with the volume rocker, and on the back of the phone is the dual Leica lens camera. So as you can see here, the Huawei P10 looks very similar to the Huawei P9. It's a little bit rounder and people are definitely going to mistake this more for an iPhone. Huawei spent a lot of the time at its MWC press conference talking about color. Probably too much time, to be honest. They have launched 8 color editions for the Huawei P10. There's 6 of this normal metal effect that we have in our hands right now, and there's also 2 new dazzling designs. Those are blue and gold, and they have a slightly sheenier metal effect on the back, and they're not going to pick up with fingerprints as easily. Whether you're going to be able to buy those in your market though is not currently clear. Under the hood of the Huawei P10 is the Kirin 960 chipset. That is the same chipset we saw on the Huawei Mate 9. There's also 64GB of storage and 4GB of RAM. The phone is also running Android 7 software with Emotion UI 5.1 on top. It looks quite different to what you'd expect from other versions of Android, but you might like it. So the Huawei P10 comes with a 12 megapixel RGB sensor and a 20 megapixel monochrome sensor. That is exactly the same setup we saw on the Huawei Mate 9 that launched late last year. Compared to the P9 though, that's quite a bit of a spec upgrade, which only had 2 12 megapixel lenses, 1 monochrome, 1 RGB. From our limited testing though, it's not been that impressive really of an upgrade. Especially in low light shots, we've actually seen the Huawei P9 perform just as well, if not better in some situations. Now, in terms of price, we don't know exact figures for the UK yet, but we do know it'd be 649 euros. That translates to about £550. So the Huawei P10 is quite a limited upgrade on other Huawei phones that have been launched in the last year or so, including the Huawei P9. So if you already own a P9 or a Mate 9, there's not really any reason to upgrade here. It's only very minor little improvements. So if you have a Huawei phone from a few years ago, or you're interested in Huawei and have, say, an iPhone 6 or something, this is probably a good handset for you to go for, or maybe even just wait for the Huawei P9 price to drop. Be sure to check out our hands-on review on techradar.com right now. We will also have a full review in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to check out more MWC coverage throughout our YouTube channel, and be sure to go to techradar.com for the full look at the Huawei P10.